It was Christmas Eve in New York City. Snow fell in soft sheets against the glass walls of a Manhattan penthouse, where a single light glowed in the corner of a vast, empty room. Inside sat Ethan Cole, a man the world called the Miracle CEO. He'd built a billion-dollar tech empire from nothing. Every magazine called him the man who turned code into gold. Yet every Christmas, his world went completely silent. He sat alone at a table for one, a feast untouched. The city glittered below, but none of it could fill the quiet inside him. It had been 10 years since the accident that took his wife and little boy. Every December, he told himself he'd move on. Every December, he couldn't. That night, as the clock struck 8, there was a knock at his door. He frowned. No one ever came here uninvited. He walked to the door and opened it. Standing there was a woman in a red coat dusted with snow, holding the hand of a little girl who clutched a small box wrapped in old Christmas paper. "Mr. Cole?" the woman asked nervously. "We're so sorry to bother you. My name's Maggie, and this is my daughter, Lila. We live down the hall. Our heater broke, and the landlord's gone for the weekend. I saw your lights on. I just wondered if you had an extra blanket?" Ethan blinked, completely thrown off. No one ever knocked on his door for something so simple. He hesitated, then nodded. "Yeah, of course. Come in. It's freezing out there." They stepped inside, dripping snow, shivering, the kind of sight that reminded him what real life looked like. He brought them cocoa while rummaging for blankets, and before he knew it, the quiet penthouse that once echoed with emptiness was filled with the sound of a child's laughter. Lila was tiny, maybe 7. She had missing front teeth and the kind of joy that could melt a glacier. She looked around in awe. "Wow! You live in a castle," she said, giggling. "But why are there no decorations? Don't you like Christmas?" Ethan froze for a second. "I used to," he admitted softly. "But things changed." Lila tilted her head, then climbed onto the chair beside him. "My dad went to heaven," she said matter-of-factly. "Mom says heaven people still celebrate Christmas. Maybe your family does too." Maggie looked embarrassed. "Lila." But Ethan smiled, really smiled, for the first time in years. An hour passed like minutes. The three of them shared cocoa, laughter, and small stories. Maggie explained that she worked 2 jobs, trying to keep their apartment and give Lila a good Christmas. Ethan listened quietly, realizing how far he'd drifted from the world, from people like this. People who didn't have much, but still had each other. Then Lila stood up, holding out the small box she'd brought. "This is for you," she said shyly. "Mom says Christmas is for sharing, even if you don't have much to share." Ethan unwrapped it carefully. Inside was a tiny snow globe, old and cracked, but inside it, a small family stood beneath a Christmas tree. His throat tightened. "It's beautiful," he whispered. "It used to be my favorite," Lila said proudly. "But I think you need it more." After they left, Ethan sat staring at the globe, the faint sound of their laughter echoing down the hall. He looked around at the cold, sterile apartment, and suddenly saw it for what it was, not a home, just a glass box he'd been hiding in. The next morning, for the first time in a decade, the penthouse had a Christmas tree. The staff were called back in, decorations went up, and Ethan personally cooked breakfast. When Maggie and Lila opened their door, the hallway was filled with music, and Ethan standing there, smiling, holding a tray of pancakes. "Santa came early," he said. Maggie laughed, but her eyes softened when she saw the warmth in his. That morning turned into an afternoon of laughter, presents, and joy, something all three of them hadn't felt in far too long. Over the next months, Ethan found excuses to see them again, dinner here, movie night there. He helped Maggie fix her car, made sure Lila got into a better school, and for the first time, he stopped running from his own pain. Christmas came again a year later, but this time, he wasn't alone. As snow drifted outside, Lila sat on his lap, showing him the same snow globe. "See?" she said with a grin. "Now it's not a pretend family anymore." Ethan looked up at Maggie, who smiled through tears, and for the first time in years, he whispered a prayer of gratitude. That night, when Lila fell asleep by the fire, Maggie turned to him and said, "You've changed her world, you know." Ethan shook his head. "No," he said quietly. "She changed mine."